Hello, this is George Herbacek again from Bass Lessons Online, available through the website creativebaselessons.com. This is the second lesson in the Beginner Slap Bass series, so welcome to this one. If you haven't checked out the first lesson, just make sure you do that if you're an absolute beginner, because a lot of the foundation techniques are addressed in the first slap bass lesson. Okay, today we're going to take it a little bit further. I'll give you some technique exercises and eventually develop those exercises into grooves. One of the first things I did here, besides the hammer-ons that I did, I'll show you that a little bit later, was I played the open E string, a bit firmer than that. Notice a difference there. You've got to really get a good whack on it and get the thumb to bounce off. That's addressed in the first lesson. So I did that, but also in between hits I would sometimes go like this. I'd actually do a muted slap or muted thump. So that's quite simple. All you do is you drape your fretting hand fingers across the strings. So actually not pushing down, just barely touch them, lightly touch the strings, so you're not getting an actual that, right? And then, so that's one of the first things you can practice. I shouldn't speak and play at the same time. Here we go. A bit more firmly. So do that, for example, on the E string for a while, then onto the A string. Notice there on the third hit I actually hit the E string simultaneous to the A string. You've got to try to get your aim really right. This is where the thumb of the slapping hand really has to be in between the strings. That was a better one. So really practice your aim so you can get in between the strings. So E and A strings, they're the ones that are most often slapped with the thumb. So that's important to get that, you know, this open string sound and then the muted string sound happening there as well. Then you can take it further. You can, for example, do a simple rock beat like boom, chop, boom, boom, chop. I'll show you that off the open E string. Okay, so that's with eighth note based rock beat, and you may have seen me in between actually doing these simulated rhythms. It's actually a really good idea, often no matter what style of music you play, to actually sort of keep a motion happening in the hand that strikes the strings. You know, the often called the plucking hand. In this case, it's the slapping hand. That'll give me a good idea of the rhythm. And all I added then to that basic open E string riff, that rock riff, was I added the octave pops, which were also addressed in the last lesson, and I just simply went from G to A to open E. So I'll just do that one again. Easy enough, so practice that. Let's try that, for example, now on the next string group. We'll do the same thing off the A string, just to get that aim right. So that's the next thing you can do. That'll give you a couple of basic exercises to practice. Now, coming back to the very beginning, what I did there is I just hammered down this. In this case, it was the D to the E on the G string, so that's 7th to 9th fret. I actually popped the D, the 7th fret, and hammered down the 9th fret. And then I just simply went across the strings. But the next one, see, I actually used my thumb for that. So the first one was a pop. So the right hand plucks the string, pulls it up, downwards, outwards and downwards, as explained in the previous video. And then the other ones were just thumb slaps, and then I moved my way down to the 5th and 7th frets and went across the other string. So I think the intro was something like this. It was improvised. I'll see if I can recreate it. Not quite. That was it, and then just faster. Okay, so you can see recreation is always a little bit more difficult when you haven't done the same thing, the same riff before, but that's basically the technique. So just hammer-ons, pluck a note, hammer it firmly with your, I find when I'm slapping and popping and playing a lot of 3 fret shapes, I will just use the 2 outside fingers, so the 1st and the 4th, especially in the lower positions, that's down there, getting to the wider frets. The next one, I just slap that one, but using the same left hand technique, and the open E string. Okay, so that should get you at least started with some octave pops and some hammer-ons across the strings. And here is now another one. I'm going to give you another hammer-on exercise, which is based on 16th notes. A lot of slap and funk style playing is based on 16th note. This is what you should practice first. You should go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm going to subdivide those beats into 4 lots of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me, suck it to me. So you can do anything that'll help you get the rhythm. And now what I'll do is I'll mute the strings again by draping my fretting hand fingers across, and then just hit those muted 16th notes. So you can go to again to any strings. Again, it's most important, I guess, to slap the E and the A strings. That's where it's done most of the time. Then once you've got that down, for example, try a hammer-on. I'm going to hammer now from the 5th fret to the 7th fret on the E string, and I'll hammer on the first 2 of those 16th notes, and then the other 2 will be muted again, so I'll release the pressure of my left hand fingers. And once you've got that down, so it's thinking do he da da do he da da. Again, express it in some way vocally. Do he da da do he da da is what I often do. So it's hammer tap tap, hammer tap tap, hammer tap tap. And then you can make up stuff based on that. I'll just make up something now. Okay, so the hammer tap taps, they're a pretty important element of slap and funk slap bass playing in general. So check out some of that, and enjoy what you're doing, enjoy what you get out of this lesson, and hey, maybe there might be some more in the future. Good luck with your efforts. Bye for now.